Wake up, go to work, come home, scroll, sleep, repeat. Your life is a simulation. Most people think that they're living their own lives, what the reality is that you're just living a script over and over and over again. Day after day, week after week, month after month, leading up to years after years. And the scariest part about it is that you don't even notice it. It's so hard to tell because you're so caught up with all the stuff that you have to get done that you don't process the fact that every day is basically the same. They're just blending in together as one. Everything becomes so comfortable and familiar that your brain stops questioning it. Why am I doing the same tasks over and over for the next 10 years of my life? Well, that's what I've been doing. No reason to question it. Let's keep going. It's just a norm. That's what you've established in your mind, and that's what your mind believes, and that's what's going to stick. But normal doesn't always mean good. What does autopilot even mean in the eyes of your brain? Well, basically, you're taking the tasks, the habits, the actions that you do on a daily, weekly basis, and you're doing them without as much effort. You're going through them not thinking too much because there's something that's so normal to you. Matter of fact, the reason that you have these habits is because it saves energy. When you know that you have to do something on a regular basis, it takes less energy to do so. It's a shortcut. You know that you're gonna do laundry on Sunday, so you kind of block out the time, you make a schedule, you know what you're gonna do, you know how you're gonna do it, you make it as efficient as possible. You don't think about tying your shoes, brushing your teeth, or eating because those are just things that you've made a habit and you're kind of subconsciously ready to do. The thing with this is that some things you need to think about. You don't want to let them just go under the rug without being seen. Most people wake up in their 50s realizing their life slipped away, but they don't understand how they got there. It's not like there's one sudden moment in life when you realize that, oh, I'm living on autopilot. It becomes a gradual process over time. Small habits become routines, and then when you have a routine, it becomes your lifestyle. Once you have a lifestyle, you identify with that. You are your lifestyle. People know what to expect from you. You know what to expect from yourself. You're not living this because you chose it. You're living it because you didn't question what was happening. And this doesn't just relate to one category of your life or something small. It can relate to everything. What you eat, what you do, your health, your relationships, your friends, your career, whatever it is, it can relate to that because the more comfortable with it you are, the less you start to question it. You know, you go to the gym, at first you're like, I don't know how to do this exercise. I don't know how to work out which body part, you don't know what's going on. And then once you're 2-3 years in, you're kind of on autopilot. All right, I'm doing bench, I'm doing flies, I'm doing triceps. You don't start to question as much. When you stop questioning things, you start doing things that are comfortable, things that aren't as challenging, and you're not pushing yourself to the next level. That's because your autopilot's built on comfort, avoidance, and distractions. You might not push as much weight because it's not as comfortable. You don't think you can do it, so you stick to what you can do. And as painful as that might be to your ego, to identify and realize that I've been living on autopilot. I'm not making my decisions consciously. I'm just kind of going with the flow. There's a time and a reason to wake up, and there are some signs. One of the most common that I even see myself falling into sometimes is waking up and checking my phone instantly. I have alarms, and once you turn that alarm off, sometimes I just look at my phone and I get hooked into it. And that's a bad habit. It's a mindless thing that I'm living on autopilot. I start scrolling, I start seeing what emails I got, texting some people, whatever it might be. That is not a positive routine. Another example is saying that you'll start tomorrow. That's one of the biggest excuses I hear in life, in whatever it might be. I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, I'll do it in the future. That is an excuse that people say because they're comfortable in the situation they're at. They don't want to push the limits, they don't want to try new things, they don't want to expand their mind into different possibilities. And at the end of every single day, you have the same question. Where did my time go? What did you do? What happened in that day? Like, where did the value that you were going to make go? You spent it doing something else. And as much as you want to change, why is it so hard to do so? And that's because autopilot is comfortable. It makes life easier not having to think about what you're doing. Knowing what's going to happen tomorrow or what you're gonna do or what you're gonna eat for the rest of the week is comfortable. It doesn't require any thought, it doesn't require as much energy. It's just comfortable to know. Your brain prefers this. Your brain doesn't want to think about unnecessary things. It wants to think about keeping you alive. So if you can do everything else with as minimal thinking and effort, your brain's gonna love it. It's gonna reward you. It's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna make you feel calm. That's what it wants. It feels familiar, and familiar feels safe. And your brain doesn't want to break that, even if it knows it's holding you back. And that's the main issue. Comfort and autopilot are holding you back. You have so much value, so much ideas that you want to act on and things that you want to get done that the comfort's just drawing you in and further away from those ideas that you're not going to execute now. But how can you change this? How can you become aware and realize, what do you want to do? What do you want to act on? And how do you want to improve that? You have to find some patterns. What am I doing right now that's leading me in that direction? What am I doing that's pulling me away from that direction? Just ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing right now? Is it a positive reason or a negative reason? And that should be enough of an answer. Once you identify that, oh, what I'm doing right now is a negative thing, you need to put some friction into it. Make it harder to do that thing. If you realize that you're doing homework, but you're always scrolling when you're doing it, you're getting distracted, you can't stay focused for a while, put your phone in another room. That way, that when you're doing homework, if you really want to scroll, you have to stand up, walk out the room, go get your phone, think about the process and the fact that you did that and actually did the extra effort to do so, and it'll make you feel bad. It'll just make it easier to stick to the homework. Another great one is planning your day before. When you know what you have to get done in a day, it makes it so much easier because you see a list. You're not like, oh, what should I do with my time right now? You see it and you're like, oh, I need to get this done. I need to make sure I do that. And then after that, I need to make sure this gets done. When you have a list of proper good ideas and things that you want and need to get done, it's easier to follow. You have a set plan. It's the same thing. Once you lay out positive actions for your mind to follow, autopilot starts to kick in. You remember that you have to get things done, that you need to go do this process, that you need to work on that, and it kind of just flows into each other. And it all starts from making intentional decisions, realizing the things that you're doing now are holding you back from who you want to be. Once you start processing that and then take action into becoming that person you want to be and doing the actions that actually matter, you're doing that and you're thinking about it and you can't get it out of your mind. Because every intentional action is a counterpart to autopilot. You're fighting the instinct with logical thinking and conscious action. The sad fact is that most people will spend the rest of their lives on autopilot. Great thing is that you don't have to. If something like this is bothering you enough, you're going to change it. Me personally, I can't live on autopilot. I don't want to go through the same routines. I want to know and do what I do consciously. I want to question my actions. I want to find new ways. Can I do something better? Can I do something faster? Can I do something new? The moment you become aware of that, you can start to separate yourself from that autopilot cycle. You can start doing things the way you actually want to do it rather than the way that you've been following. So tell me honestly, are you actually living your life or are you just repeating it over and over?